managed to launch the Vox station into space. I still think smashing it into a town would have sent a stronger message.
Your command.
Promoting teammate health. Attack strategies. operational state. Teammate. Neutralizing unfriendlies. Standing by with life support.
Go, locked and loaded. Just give the signal.
Hastening to cover. Employing a thorough, methodical search.
Got my left on an unpleasant.
System endures.
Emergency protocols as indicated. Directorate agents are exempt from commands issued by non-director level entities.
Hostile spot! Sorry, ain't ready yet.
Inserting threat.
Troublemaker approaching.
Maintain.
He's buried another 8.
Providing aid.
anomalous event. The interstitial hall and exhibition tower is off limits for the foreseeable future to any and all non-essential personnel. All requests to view the prototype rift anomaly modulator are hereby suspended for the time being. Please direct all further queries and study petitions to the lead researcher's office.
Subjects, listen well. Days ago, our beloved sovereign, in his infinite wisdom, submitted himself to mental refreshment to strengthen his resolve for the good of all. At his command, I, Emery Thoreau, now accept the responsibility of shepherding you through these dark times until our sovereign's blessed return. I shall not take this duty lightly, for I address you today not as the consul, nor even as your new leader, which I am, but as a simple man who wants nothing more than to defend his home and his neighbors. But I cannot do it alone. Some
Comparative analysis of the consul's speech to that of other dictators suggest a high likelihood that a coup has occurred.
The sovereign's a downright dove compared to the consul.
future sovereign.
This is gonna be bad for everyone.
So dry those tears as I call upon you to stand tall with renewed zeal. Together, we will finish our great sovereign's work and purge Arcadia of those who seek to harm us. We shall clench our victory and step into the prosperous future our matriarch promised.
All subjects prosper.
Hostiles.
Emergency protocols ready.
Let me know when you needed a stretch. I'm the one you need to worry about.
Directorate Pharmaceutics.
Target's taken leave. His gaze sees all.
something. I know how this looks, but I can assure you I have leave to look into... Oh, you're not security. Then you must be responsible for all the commotion I heard just now. For both our sakes, I think it best if we continue as we were. I will forget I saw you as long as you extend me the same courtesy. I was looking for proof, if you must know. There was an incident recently, and I believe our head of security is neglecting his duty to investigate. Albin Valancourt is the sentinel charged with supervising this facility and all its researchers. Unfortunately, he's a punitive man who delights in the wretchedness of others. I'd grasp a live rod if I could pass its current to him. Although, unless you have unusual license to be here, his odds of keeping head and body united diminish by the second. That must have been so difficult for you. Unless your lamps have oxidized, you must have noticed my arm. I lost it saving the Sovereign from a rift experiment gone wrong. An experiment I was in charge of. Naturally. Valancourt supplied my name for the reports, incriminating me in the eyes of my colleagues. And since he's closed off that wing of the lab, I can't prove my innocence. This facility is not a place where mistakes are tolerated. Here, those who shoulder blame soon go headless. Coincidence is not causation, I know. But with recent events being what they are, it's difficult not to draw certain unpalatable theories beyond mere incompetence. Sabotage comes foremost to mind, though the perpetrator and purpose remain a mystery. If only Valancourt was not at permanent cross-purposes with me. I should have known you were here for the prototype. But for what ill-begotten purpose, I wonder? Scientific curiosity does not exclude an intent to harm, just as being sovereign does not preserve one from needing mental refreshment. I couldn't possibly rely on an outsider to help me conduct an investigation. Whatever the cause of the incident, it is my duty as a law-abiding protectorate subject to get that is privileged information. Some things I cannot divulge. Back to the topic at hand. Do we have an accord? Or do you intend to make further? The prototype rift modulator is currently... Once you have the prototype, make your way. Be cautious. The guards of this facility will attack anyone unfamiliar to them. But once you have the keycard, and Valancourt keeps all of the items he confiscates from the staff...
Focusing on mission-critical objectives.
Troublemaker approach.
Some malingerer, no doubt.
Engaging hostile.
Back in my sight. Maintaining. Recommencing hostility. Worry fast.
Contact lost.
Something ain't right about that rift. Though, kinda makes you wonder what might be inside.
Prototype rift anomaly modulator located.
Without proper authorization, lockdown initiated.
To the unsubtle thief. Yes, you with the rift modulator. I've made the intercom available to you. It's not every day that someone is fool enough to break into the Interstitial Reconfiguration Center. I'd be obliged if you would regale me with the tale of how you managed to get this far. A crude assessment and utterly untrue. I am perfectly accommodating to non-incompetence. I suspect you did not reach here unaided. So who was it? Which one of my undutiful brain boxes helped sponsor this little pilferage? Act glib if you like. All you've done is illustrate the need for more invasive auditing of my personnel. I'll be sure to inform them of your role in that unpleasantness. Well, there will be time to scrutinize every angle of this breach at a later date, once I have dealt with you. Does such bravado normally advance your agenda? So be it. We can forgo civilities. I will await you in the hangar. There, bullets may fly more freely than words.
everything is moving. The power you misuse will soon be your undoing. Give you what you need, though not quite what you were meaning. I wanna read what you have sown. We are the sum of this new machine. So lay waste to all we made for your corporate policy. You are all made. you. All the things you feel, you can feel with me. It's real and true. I will lift you up when you need it. I'll hold you down when you want me to. All the things you feel, you can feel with me. It's real and true. I will lift you up when you need it. I'll hold you down when you want me to. All the things you feel, you can feel with me. It's real and true. Like the words I sing to you.
Have you ever been so hungover that you don't know whether you just woke from a coma? Where you're teetotal, you're totally sober. So it's got to be your body bones that are broken. A global explosion, a tyrannical virus, nearly as bad as writing in comics and a papyrus. Luckily there's something that we can prescribe. It's a man that'll fight to dismantle the right. Blonde haired, blue eyed, but he doesn't subscribe to the doctrine that it makes him higher than another guy. He doesn't like taking credit without merit. He's ready to demonstrate it to anyone that doesn't get it. He brought a big bag of bloody guns to the party. Cause what's the point in just punching a Nazi? Never mind sucker punching someone you can't see. I'll bring a tank to the demolition derby. Leaving nothing but a bit of charred meat in the car seat. Can't be doing with that parlay malarkey. Says shoot first, ask questions never. To anyone claiming to be the best, I'm better. Meet BJ Blazkowicz, a one-man natural disaster risk. He's hurting to hurt and he'll scratch that itch by tracking down a Nazi to blast a bits. No small print caveats or asterisks. Won't bow to the master that cracks the whip. He'll be standing on the back of the basilisk and hacking at his scalp with a bloody battered fist. Takes pain like a masochist, but he'll never self-inflict, never slash his wrist. The only manner in which he'll ever go down is whenever he throws down with the last Nazi bitch.
The best you got, the best won't do. Now you are the weak and this is your doom. You are among wolves now, and these are our woods, our house and our feast. There, when the smoke clears and the flames north lead to waste, one man remains. How can you feel it? Can you see? No army left, it's just you and me.
Imagine being accused of a subhuman because you were another hue from the dude who was ruling. Imagine overnight losing all your loved ones. No goodbyes, no hugs, they're just gone. Imagine the 60s without love and peace. A big apple with jackboots out on the street. Imagine America controlled by a despot, turning everything he holds to a cesspit. Death to the death heads, lost the total cough. We won't stop till it's totally broken off. Throw hands with the over commando. Took a bone at the pound to hand over power to the people and allow them to be equal. Well, at least till they announce another sequel. But for now we'll assist the resistance in opposition to a system insisting we're ripped from existence. Frau Engel, a frown on a brow that'll make a man tremble. Break a man's metal like the end of a pencil pressed on a page and proclaiming your death your witness. Do a harsh mistress, but BJ will get the last laugh. Yes, get the cat to chase the mouse. Set the trap, eradicate the frown. Where's the master race now? And what is a new colossus when they want to nuke the lot of us? Look, this is the start of an insurrection, giving protection from unhinged infection. But we ditched the syringe and medicine from a big metal thing that led us in, so let us in. Most of us have never been beheaded, let alone at the Lincoln thing and on the telly. Tis butter, scratch an itch. Who dares to spill the blood of Blazkowicz? Your last ditch attempt to tempt fate and escape, but it's too late for that, you Nazi bitch.
The best you got, the best won't do. Now you are the weak and this is your doom. You are among wolves now, and these are our woods, our house and our feast. There, when the smoke clears and the flames north lead to waste, one man remains. How can you feel it? Can you see? No army left, it's just Don't stay here.
that you don't know whether you just woke from a coma, but you're teetotal, you're totally sober. So it's got to be your body's bones that are broken. A global explosion, a tyrannical virus, nearly as bad as writing in comics and a papyrus. Luckily there's something that we can't prescribe. It's a man that'll fight to dismantle the right. Blonde hair, blue eye, but he doesn't subscribe to the doctrine that it makes him higher than another guy. He doesn't like taking credit without merit. He's ready to demonstrate it to anyone that doesn't get it. He brought a big bag of bloody guns to the party, cause what's the point in just punching a Nazi? Never mind sucker punching someone you can't see. I'll bring a tank to the demolition derby, leaving nothing but a bit of charred meat in the car seat. Can't be doing with that parlay malarkey. Says shoot first, ask questions never, to anyone claiming to be the best and better. Meet BJ Blazkowicz, a one-man natural disaster risk. He's hurting to hurt and he'll scratch that itch by tracking down a Nazi to blast to bits. No small print, caveats or asterisks. Won't bow to the master that cracks the whip. He'll be standing on the back of the basilisk and hacking at his scalp with a bloody battered fist. Takes pain like a masochist, but he'll never self-inflict, never slash his wrist. The only manner in which he'll ever go down's whenever he throws down with the last Nazi bitch.
The best you got, the best won't do. Now you are the weak and this is your doom. You are on my wounds, now and these are our woods, our house and our feast. There, when the smoke clears and the flames north lead to waste, one man remains. How can you feel it? Can you see? No army left, it's just you and me.
Imagine being accused of a subhuman because you were another hue from the dude that was ruling. Imagine overnight losing all your loved ones. No goodbyes, no hugs, they're just gone. Imagine the 60s without love and peace. A big apple with jackboots out on the street. Imagine America controlled by a despot, turning everything he holds to a cesspit. Death to the death heads, lost the totem cough. We won't stop till it's totally broken off. Throw hands with the over commando. Took a bone at the pound to hand over power to the people and allow them to be equal. Well, at least till they announce another sequel. But for now we'll assist the resistance, in opposition to a system insisting we're ripped from existence. Frau Engel, a frown on a brow that'll make a man tremble. Break a man's metal like the end of a pencil pressed on a page and proclaiming your death your witness. Do a harsh mistress, but BJ you'll get the last laugh. Yes, get the cat to chase the mouse. Set the trap, eradicate the frown. Where's the master race now? And what is a new colossus when they want to nuke the lot of us? Look, this is the start of an insurrection, giving protection from unhinged infection. But we ditched the syringe and medicine from a big metal thing that led us in, so let us in. Most of us have never been beheaded, let alone at the Lincoln thing and on the telly. Tis butter, scratch an itch. Who dares to spill the blood of Blazkowicz? Your last ditch attempt to tempt fate and escape, but it's too late for that, you Nazi bitch.
The best you got, the best won't do. Now you are the weak and this is your doom. You are on my wounds, now and these are our woods, our house and our feast. There, when the smoke clears and the flames north lead to waste, one man remains. How can you feel it? Can you see? No army left, it's just you and me. The best you got, your best won't do. Now you are the weak and this is your doom. You are on my wounds, now and these are our woods, our house and our feast. There, when the smoke clears and the flames north lead to waste, one man remains. How can you feel it? Can you see? No army left, it's just you and me. We'll be burned. We light the fires, you will know.
destroy the entire galaxy. That doesn't include the main menu, right? Geography ain't my strong suit.
Got my lamps on an upfront.
Unfriendly in combat range.
Got troublemaker.
Pushing ahead. Glory bound.
With life support.
Ready to waste. On your command. Free hole in the head.
Firing medical syringes. My videos.
Grenade? His gaze sees all. In chase. I advise you
Engaging combat protocols. Engaging hostile life forms.
As of this morning's demonstration, we have finally proven my central thesis. Matter within the rifts is not permanently destroyed. Broken down into pure information. This confirms many of our theories about the rift to an overwhelming degree, including the potential.
especially perturbed. You know what Buddhist always says. Celebrating the downfall of our enemies. This temperament can hide in plain sight. Say, remember that time the Sovereign caught us comparing baseball cards? He was so excited about you having that vintage foil of his favorite Sovereign slugger. That was ages ago. You suppose there's been another...
Danger.
Position.
Stranger ahead.
That's real.
Emergency protocol syringes prime.
Let me know when you needed a stretch.
These quarters are awful meticulous. Makes me wonder what Valancourt might be hiding hereabouts.
My family's wise counselor for more years than I have drawn breath, Emery. But that does not grant you the right to challenge my will.
Why, I challenge nothing. I simply offer guidance where I may. I've neither the wish nor the strength to usurp your authority.
I know you have designs on my rift research. What I cannot understand is what you intend to do with it. What exactly are you plotting?
Suspicion is unbecoming, Henry. And restoring Arcadia to resplendence is my sole aim, as it should be yours. Yet you remain intent to use the rift for the most tenuous of means.
You forget yourself, Consul. Pray, I do not forget all the loyal service you have given me, or you might lose more than just your standing in my affections.
That device nabbed on his watch nigh guarantees Valancourt a long stay and mental refreshment, if he is not subjected to swift and fitting arbitration first. Matriarch's blessings on you. Let's not waste time then. I'll lead us to the restricted wing now. Once there, reopen the rift using the modulator, so we can begin searching for clues. There's the sorry excuse of interstitial reconfigurating matter that claimed my arm. Let's open the hood, shall we? Rifts reconstitute matter in an imprecise manner, but use your imagination to conjure the original seed that could lead us to the evidence we need. You've discovered something. I knew it! I am absolved. And yet, I cannot possibly imagine what would have possessed him to deliberately endanger the Sovereign's life. It's unconscionable. I would characterize Valancourt as many vile and unmentionable things, but a traitor? No. A man cannot defecate without humming a protectorate anthem. For all the time I've spent trying to unsnarl Valancourt's mercurial behavior, it seems there was yet more I did not know about him. Did you uncover anything else? I had heard rumors of the Sovereign's diminished popularity since the war began, but I scarcely trusted their veracity. That any subject should commit such an abominable offense against the Matriarch's own blood? It is nigh impossible to fathom. I think I'm beginning to understand exactly what happened here. But if you have any additional points of data, please share them. I think I can formulate my own conclusion from here. Our dear head of security has much to answer for. We need to go and confront... I'm no longer willing to wait for the arc of justice to bend in my favor. I'll go first. Follow behind. If you can reach the back, I'll keep... Oh, and there's also a rift in the...
pleasant as I find your company, I must ask you to vacate the area at once. I'm preparing our defenses against an intruder.
Hold the pleasantries, Valancourt. I know you sabotaged the experiment that nearly killed me and the Sovereign. I have the proof.
Calm yourself, Doctor. Such a belligerent tone is unbecoming from one of your profession.
Don't tell me to calm down, you traitorous worm.
Playing with your new toy, are you? Not for much longer. Be assured, after I deal with my traitorous subordinate, you're next.
Traitor? If anyone's a traitor here...
Now, burglar.
Coming up with some foes.
And you may as well cease your lurking. You already exposed yourself by opening that rift.
Forging ahead!
Enthusiastically neutralizing as indicated.
As of this morning's demonstration, we have finally proven my central thesis. Matter within the rifts is not permanently destroyed. Broken down into pure information. This confirms many of our theories about the rift to an overwhelming degree, including the potential to restore this information, albeit imperfectly. I expect the Sovereign will be...
Now that you have the rift modulator, any previously inaccessible rift could... might be worth revisiting. Rifts may contain useful equipment and resources. However, due to the chaotic nature of reconstitution, some creative problem-solving may be required in reaching them.
Error. Currently excluding additional input.
Personnel, only beyond this point. Leave immediately. If you are not of the Protectorate, you are this unit's enemy. Preparing to unleash Take care of him, Commander. Dampeners failing.
Got eyes on some no-goods.
Invasive element.
Considered that Please, could you help us settle a matter? We've set out for mental refreshment, but upon reflection, the resources needed for it are a luxury we should forego due to the war.
If you're doubting that you need refreshment, I can request a specialized third-person observation for you just to make sure. Those professional observers are quite thorough.
When framed in that way, it does sound rather resource-intensive. I'll just hold off for now. As a loyal subject, I'll get it done if necessary, but I can't say I need it quite yet. Yes, I've made up my mind. I'll hold off for now and go another time. Obviously, the treatment and effort would be wasted on a loyal subject such as myself. Thank you, stranger.
Stay true, outsider.
Trust the plan. Preserve set progress. Sustain the system. Preserve.
Whoa, Val! Watch where you're pointing that shooter of yours. You've been pitching a little uneven lately.
Since the fastball incident of '97, Automax are not permitted to participate in tossball games, leagues, or tournaments.
I mean, your aim's been off. Wouldn't want me or the good commander here catching any strays.
When attempting to capture a stray animal, approach slowly and quietly. If the animal senses danger, it may grow aggressive.
You know what? Forget I said it.
Don't like the sound of that at all. Hey there. Unctuous ne'er-do-wells!
What you need to worry about? I couldn't hit the broadside of a freighter.
Pondering begets disharmony.
Sure, they are operating at efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
The mental
increases tractability. Enemy near. Statistical
Ready to take the heat off you, Commander. Just say when.
Only the Protectorate possesses the advanced technology and know-how behind the mental refreshment process. That's why we are all happy.
Council provides, the system abides.
Prudence dictates we cherish all we have and defend it.
Subjects prosper under the guidance.
While there are many mental refreshment facilities to be found throughout
State your
Arcadia,
intentions.
placid waters will...
Enemy approximating in our vicinity.
It is personally overpowered. Refresher cool.
Mental refreshment centers are very healthy.